Goldie Hawn is now 80 years old, and don't gasp when you see her today, because despite the passage of time, her charm and spirit remain as vibrant as ever. The woman who once lit up Hollywood screens with her radiant smile and unmistakable charm has journeyed through decades, weathered life's ups and downs, and now stands not only as a symbol of joy and humor, but also as an icon of resilience and courage. "80 years have passed, yet she continues to shine in her own unique way, with a beauty that goes beyond appearances, one that radiates depth, wisdom, and a heart constantly seeking peace in life. If Goldie Hawn's story has touched your heart, if her smile has ever made you laugh, or if her eyes have ever moved you, leave a comment with 1 if you feel connected to or inspired by her emotional journey, or 0 if you have a different perspective. Don't forget to like and share so your friends can follow along with this beautiful story too. She was once the radiant heart of Hollywood, a name synonymous with laughter, charm, and unforgettable beauty. From the sweet and innocent Toni Simmons in Cactus Flower, a role that earned her an Oscar, to the confused yet lovable Judy Benjamin in Private Benjamin and the glamorous but wounded Elise Elliott in The First Wives Club, Goldie Hawn has touched millions of hearts with her grace, wit, and emotional depth. But today, Goldie has broken hearts once more. This time with a quiet confession, "I can barely see anything anymore." Her world, once lit up by fame and the flash of cameras, has now faded into a quiet struggle few ever see. Goldie is not just a major star, she's a cultural icon. But behind all the glamour lies a story of pain and perseverance that goes unnoticed by most. We may have once known her from the screen, but you know what? Goldie Hawn's greatness isn't just found in her legendary roles. It lies in her courage to face the truth about herself. Long before she became the dazzling blonde, with the iconic giggle and radiant on-screen presence, there was a woman who dared to be real. Goldie Jean Hawn was just a little girl growing up in Tacoma Park, Maryland, a world far removed from the glitz and chaos of Hollywood. Born on November 21, 1945, to Laura and Edward Hawn, her childhood seemed calm and ordinary on the surface. Her mother ran a dance school, her father was a musician, and their family life was filled with rhythm, discipline, and a nurturing love for the arts. But beneath that harmonious exterior, a quiet storm was beginning to form. A storm that would shape the emotional foundation of Goldie's life for decades to come. Even as a child, Goldie endured deep and persistent anxiety long before she even knew what panic attacks were. She felt it creeping in like invisible shadows, stealing her breath, closing in the walls around her, and filling her with fear of things she couldn't control: loss, war, and the unknown. She once admitted that as a little girl, she was afraid she wouldn't live long enough to experience something as simple as her first kiss. Goldie's childhood innocence was never untouched by that underlying anxiety. It was a time overshadowed by inner battles no one could see. Unlike most children who dreamed of becoming stars and receiving applause, Goldie's only dream was happiness. At just 11 years old, when people asked her if she wanted to appear on Broadway or become a star, she answered clearly and calmly, "No. I just want to be happy." It was a startling response, one that even surprised the adults around her, but it offered a brief glimpse into the depth of her inner world. For Goldie, happiness was not a luxury, but a lifeline. At school, she struggled. Goldie had difficulty learning to read and was placed in the lowest reading group in her class, a humiliating position for a sensitive child. Those years were challenging for her, but it was through those struggles that the person she would become was shaped, a talented actress with a great heart. But those challenges also planted the first seeds of resilience that she would come to deeply appreciate. Her second-grade teacher, Mrs. Povich, saved her not with extraordinary interventions, but with gentle encouragement and a firm belief in her potential. That affirmation was perhaps the first time Goldie felt truly seen in a safe way. At the age of 3, she began learning ballet, and it became her escape. Her language was not about performing for others, but about losing herself in the movement, in the rhythm, in the grace. Dance was the one place where the noise in her head faded away. It gave her a sense of control, a purpose in the flow. That passion grew into her first true ambition, to open her own dance school. Goldie didn't dream of red carpets or flashing cameras. She dreamed of the wooden floors reflecting the music and the students. But life, as usual, had other plans. At 18, filled with hope but cautious, she moved to New York City to take her first dance job at the World's Fair. It was supposed to be a victorious moment, but instead, Goldie found herself standing on 10th Avenue, completely alone. The people she had expected to be with had left town. She had no home, no plan, and no safety net. It was the first time she truly experienced the vulnerability of adulthood. But even in that chaotic moment, she didn't fall apart. She solved the problem, staying with her dance teacher for a few nights, finding an apartment, and pushing forward. That was the first real test of the quiet resilience she had built during her childhood. Not long after, Goldie began landing jobs, small performances, and auditions. A new world was opening up, but with it came a storm she wasn't ready for. The more successful she became, the more fearful she grew. She began experiencing real panic attacks, her body trembling, her chest tightening, and her thoughts spiraling around a success that others saw as a blessing. For her, it felt like a trap. She didn't want fame, she didn't want to be consumed by the machine. She just wanted peace. At 21, overwhelmed by fear and confusion, Goldie began seeing a therapist. Over the next 8 years, she delved into the painful aspects of herself, frequently exploring her inner world through therapy and meditation. She gradually learned how to live with her anxiety, how to recognize it, how to breathe through it when it surfaced. It wasn't a quick fix, but a quiet, long-term battle she fought privately, even as the world fell in love with her radiant smile. Her mother's advice still echoed in her ears. When you prepare for a job, you should be ready. Not the producer making you a star, but the audience. Win their hearts, and you will earn your place. That truth became her compass. Goldie never tried to manipulate her fame for the audience to decide if she was worthy of being remembered, and they did. Looking back, it's clear that Goldie Hawn's childhood wasn't marked by dramatic tragedies that shook the headlines, but by a quieter pain. The pain of living in her mind, the pain hidden behind her laughter, the pain of building character without the applause. It was a silent battlefield, and she navigated it, not without scars, but with profound humanity. Her humanity would later become her greatest gift on screen. Of course, I know her name. It's Goldie Hawn. She never intended to become a star, and she became one almost by accident. In 1969, she played Toni Simmons in Cactus Flower, a role that would forever change the course of her life. The young, innocent woman with the big, round eyes that she portrayed struck a deep chord with audiences and with the Academy. At 24, Goldie won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress, an extraordinary victory she never saw coming. She didn't even watch the broadcast the night it aired. When she received the call, she thought it was a joke. "I didn't even think about it," she later said. "I was just working. I had moved on." That sense of humble detachment would shape her approach to fame for decades to come. While others chased the spotlight, Goldie often turned her back on it. Even during her peak fame in the 70s and 80s, she approached each project with hesitation, not out of arrogance, but because of a deep need to protect her inner peace. She didn't want to be consumed by the system. She just wanted to create something meaningful, something that brought light, not pressure. But her talent was undeniable, and Hollywood couldn't take its eyes off her. Goldie became a leading actress, not just because she was beautiful or funny, but because there was something deeply human about her. In Private Benjamin, 1980, she played a spoiled widow who joins the army and changes her life. The role earned her a second Oscar nomination, reflecting Goldie's real-life transformation, a woman learning to navigate pain with humor and finding strength in vulnerability. The audience didn't just laugh. They saw themselves in her confusion, her struggles, and her quiet victories. She continued to take leading roles in films like Overboard, Death Becomes Her, and The First Wives Club. Each character was different, but all were rooted in emotional truth. Especially in The First Wives Club, her portrayal of Elise, a glamorous actress grappling with the denial of aging and the pain of rejection, was a deeply autobiographical character. Goldie understood the pain of being seen only for your appearance and being cast aside as you grow older. She poured that pain into Elise, turning what could have been a caricature into a powerful commentary on women in Hollywood. But perhaps the bravest step in her career came when she stepped behind the camera. Goldie became a producer not for fame, but for freedom. She wanted to shape the stories she told, to elevate valuable voices, to create films that reflected real, complex, flawed, and beautiful women in their imperfections. Her production company gave her the autonomy in an industry that often tries to strip it away. It was a quiet rebellion, and it changed everything for decades to come. Goldie Hawn refused to be confined. She didn't chase fame, she pursued authenticity, and that pursuit has made her more iconic than any award. We are companions, and we are a pair. She brought joy to millions, but behind the curtain, Goldie Hawn has endured far more than silent battles. Her life once consisted of a series of dazzling premieres, flashing cameras, and roaring applause. In recent years, it has slowed down into something quieter, heavier, and sometimes brutally isolating. Her radiant smile is still there, but the weight behind it has grown into something heartbreaking. This was evident in March 2025, in a shocking moment that moved millions. Goldie stepped onto the Oscars stage with Andrew Garfield, and as she turned to read the cue, she stopped. The words didn't come, her smile faltered, and then, with a small laugh, she couldn't hide the truth. She admitted, "I'm completely blind. I have cataracts." Hit like to spread appreciation for a living icon. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss more authentic and inspiring stories from Civ's Rewind. Comment below with your thoughts or share a memory tied to Goldie. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to share this video with anyone you think needs a reminder that true beauty never fades. That brief statement was harsh, a stark reminder that even the brightest stars can be consumed by darkness. Cataracts are a common condition in older adults, but for someone like Goldie Hawn, a woman who once lit up the screen with her bright eyes and expressive charm, the irony is cruel. The world she once saw so vividly now appears through a cloudy lens, and it's not just her vision that's starting to fade, but the presence, rhythm, and closeness that once defined her world. This was not the first time she had felt herself fading away. Long before her diagnosis, Goldie had quietly struggled with the slow erosion of her fame. Hollywood is notoriously unkind to women as they age. Roles became fewer, the phone rang less often, and where her name once appeared on every billboard, she now found herself watching from the sidelines. That retreat into silence didn't bring peace. It brought reflection, and it brought pain. Goldie has always been open about her decades-long battle with anxiety and panic attacks. From a young age, the pressure to perform, to please, to maintain an image she never asked for became overwhelming. At 21, she turned to therapy not as a temporary experiment, but as a full commitment to healing. For 8 years, she regularly saw a psychologist to peel back the layers of fear that had silently shaped her life. During this same period, Goldie also went through profound pain in her first and only marriage. In 1969, she married Gus Draonis, an ambitious dancer and director. The marriage began as a hopeful union but quickly unraveled under the weight of the pressures from Hollywood and Goldie's rising fame. Though she rarely speaks of the pain from that chapter, it marked one of her first emotional survival lessons. The quiet dissolution of their marriage in 1976 left a deeper imprint, one that helped her understand the loneliness of love lost too soon and the emotional cost that comes with it. Behind her radiant smile, it took many more years for her to find lasting friendships. But that initial loss haunted her, shaping how she trusted in love and how she guarded her heart as she moved forward. She once said that anxiety not only affected her mind, but also her body. She would shake uncontrollably. Her chest would tighten until it felt like it was about to collapse, and her thoughts would sink into a cruel darkness that made her feel like she was drowning alone in a room full of air. And as her fame grew, the spotlight's shadow brought her everything, yet also stripped her bare. Later in life, another weight pressed on her shoulders: regret. Not over fame or lost roles, but over time. Time she didn't spend with her children, time stolen by flights, film sets, and red carpets. "I wish I could have been there more," she once confessed, her voice breaking. "I miss the games, I miss the moments, and those are things you can't get back." Despite those regrets, she built a family filled with love. Her children, now adults, remain close, but even love doesn't always shield against loneliness. As friends pass away and the world keeps moving, Goldie finds herself reflecting more on her legacy than her career. Her work with the Mind Up Foundation has become a lifeline. She poured her heart into it, using neuroscience, mindfulness, and emotional education to help children understand their own brains and build resilience. This gave her a purpose beyond fame, but even in her advocacy work, she sometimes still feels the pain of being overlooked. "I never wanted to be a star," she said. "I just wanted to be happy." But happiness in these later years has become a quietly fragile thing. There are good days, days filled with the laughter of grandchildren, soft music, and the comfort of home. But there are also days marked by the darkness of the past, declining health, and memories returning not with warmth, but with sharp pangs. Her battle with vision loss continues, and although cataracts are treatable, they are only part of the physical toll aging has taken, bringing fatigue, fragility, and a gradual erosion of independence. Public appearances have become rarer. When she does appear, fans comment on her radiance, but few see the immense courage it takes just to step onto the stage. Inside, she is still the girl who just wanted to dance, the one who dreamt of opening a ballet school, the girl standing alone on 10th Avenue in New York with no place to sleep and somehow figuring it out. That girl never truly left, she simply grew older. And perhaps the saddest truth of all is that the more she gave to the world, the more the world forgot her. Goldie has carried so much as the applause fades and the cameras blur. What remains is the essence of Goldie Hawn, a woman with extraordinary depth, relentless endurance, and a heart still searching for quiet joy. She does not ask for sympathy. Just to be remembered, not only for the light she brought, but also for the darkness she survived. And perhaps that is her most profound performance. And now, here's Dale with news about the future. At 80, Goldie Hawn lives a life no longer measured by awards or premieres, but by quiet mornings, gentle conversations, and the joyful chaos of her grandchildren's laughter. She lives away from the glitz of Hollywood, surrounded by nature and family, holding close to the few things that always bring her peace, embracing simplicity and presence. Her days now are slower, but not empty. She wakes up with gratitude, meditates in silence, and walks through her garden as if each flower were a poem written just for her. Goldie has learned that true fulfillment doesn't come from being seen by millions, but from being deeply and truly known by a few. Throughout decades of change, victories, and challenges, Goldie has never been entirely alone. Her partner, actor Kurt Russell, has stood by her side for more than 4 decades. A love story that transcends the barriers of Hollywood and has flourished without the need for a wedding ring. In a rapidly changing world, they remain a steady presence. Together, they have raised a harmonious family, built a quietly strong life, and proven that true partnership is not declared on paper, but lived out in ordinary, loyal, and enduring moments. She continues to work with MindUp, now a global force for children's mental health. Under her leadership, the program has reached over 7 million young people around the world, providing them with tools to breathe through anxiety, focus their minds, and believe in their own self-worth. For Goldie, this impact goes beyond any box office revenue. What makes her legacy remarkable is not just the volume of her work, but the spirit behind it. She has lived with laughter, yes, but also with belief, with courage, with a steadfast conviction that joy is not something you stumble upon, but something you nurture through pain, through choice, through resilience. Her influence extends beyond the screen and the classroom for fellow artists. She is an icon of reinvention and integrity for women, proof that beauty never fades and that a voice once silenced by the tyranny of age can still resonate powerfully. Especially for those who quietly struggle with their own invisible battles, Goldie Hawn is hope wrapped in grace. She may no longer be the headline of blockbuster films or dominate tabloid pages, but make no mistake, her light has not dimmed. It has simply turned inward, shining in the most important place. Goldie Hawn's story is no longer one of fame, but of purpose, not of applause, but of impact. And in that extraordinary quiet legacy, she continues to shine. He is no longer joyful, Dad, as old age quietly arrives, rarely announcing itself with thunder. It comes gently through slower steps, prolonged silences, and the subtle fading of a once bright light. And now, in a moment that stirs the hearts of many, the world receives the heartbreaking news about Goldie Hawn, a woman whose laughter once echoed through movie theaters and whose joy once danced on the silver screen. Her world today is marked by fragile vision loss, health struggles, and a profound stillness that only time and age can bring. It is cruel and unbearable when someone who has brought so much light into the world now has to live out her days in darkness. It is heartbreaking in ways words cannot express to witness the icon of joy quietly fade into silence. Yet, in this sorrow, there is also respect. Goldie Hawn's life is a testament to grace beneath the fire of strength and vulnerability, to a beauty that goes beyond the surface. And although she may no longer be in the spotlight, her spirit, gentle, fierce, and radiant, continues to shine through every soul she has touched. Goldie Hawn has turned 80, no longer the glamorous icon of the red carpet, but she remains a gentle flame that lights up the hearts of millions. She doesn't need a grand stage to shine. It's her perseverance, kindness, and inner light that make her truly great. In today's noisy world, Goldie's quiet yet inspiring presence is a reminder that joy, gratitude, and authenticity are timeless values. If her story has moved you, please like this video to show your appreciation for a living legend. Subscribe to our channel to join us in exploring the unforgettable stories of our time. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you love Goldie Hawn, don't hesitate to share this video with anyone who could use a little gentle light today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time on our upcoming journeys.